right.
Hey, welcome to another edition of Effing Details.com.
And guess what? I'm on this side now.
You are. We swap sides.
So weird.
Yeah.
Beside you.
Right? It does feel weird.
Yeah.
And so I'm Mark Simmons. You are?
Jill Simmons.
And, you know, part of our Effing Details podcast is it's about us a little bit and about not getting lost in the details of starting epic shit.
Yes.
And then when details matter, when things get real, and we've talked about that. And sometimes it's nice to hear from other people about their stories.
Definitely, because we're going to get boring pretty fast.
Yeah, right. I'm already bored of myself. So we're fortunate to have with us today, which is why we're on the same side, a special guest.
Woo! So excited.
With Hazel Walker.
Yay.
So welcome, Hazel Walker.
Thank you very much. You two seem very excited.
We are super excited.
Very excited. You are our very first guest.
And you like us. You really like us, I think, which makes it even better. So some of the people watching may recognize you, Hazel, from some of the work we've done together, where we have a Walk This Way video series. We have 280 plus videos. Actually, I think it's 300 videos out there now. Which we started doing 5 years ago, and they're more around networking and networking education, and
they're short little videos.
They're short, and we're freaking awesome in them.
You are,
which is an example of the effing details because we just went, fuck it, we started them.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We did in the park. Remember the Italian restaurant sitting outside with Carrie holding our camera?
Yeah, like our first 5 videos, I'm wearing a green shirt, guy honking, the truck honking in the background going by, but if we didn't start those first 5,
we wouldn't have done anything.
We wouldn't be at 300.
No,
that's so true.
Right?
And what was some of the feedback that you got?
Oh, our very first feedback. Remember the very first feedback? We put it out to the world, so obviously you're going to get feedback, was, what kind of mic are you using? You need to use a different mic. And I'm like, perhaps ask us what our point was. It wasn't about being totally professional. And
right, it wasn't. And you've come a long way with your skill set.
Right.
Just because of those videos.
Yeah.
Right?
We don't have Carrie holding a phone right now. We do have a very different setup.
You've learned to edit more and do all of the things, which you probably wouldn't be where you are at now for this had we not done that.
Absolutely.
Right? Your skill set has changed radically, or you would be paying a lot of people to do those things.
That is true. And so, you know, we know, I think we know some kick-ass people in our lives.
We do.
And important people. Hazel's been an important part of our lives.
Very important.
We've traveled the world with Hazel.
We have. That's been exciting. Yes.
We've been to a few places.
We have.
And we've had a lot of great times. And then there's also been trying times. Mm-hmm. And one thing we know about Hazel,
right,
being the kick-ass human being she is, is Hazel has a hell of a story.
She does. Huge story.
Yes.
Her life is incredible.
Hazel is just figure it out. I'm a figure it out girl.
Yes.
That really is my thing, is I just figure it out. Because I had to learn to figure things out even as a child. I had no role models and guides to help me. I had to figure out life. And then when it came time to go to university, I was like, fuck, I don't want to go listen to teachers tell me how to live life. I just want to figure that out on my own. So I gave up a scholarship.
Wow.
Because I needed to figure it out.
Yeah. And I totally understand the whole school thing, to be honest with you. Yeah. It's not my deal necessarily.
So just curious, can we just dive into one question really fast?
You dive.
This is one of the big questions I asked Mark, because I find that people like you and Mark seem to have a lot of confidence. Did you always just have a lot of confidence?
Oh, no.
No. Okay. So you didn't have a lot.
No.
Because you said you had to figure a lot of stuff out.
Well,
it takes confidence to do that, I feel.
But it did. It took confidence. But that confidence comes a little at a time. With each little win is a little bit of confidence. Okay. So I didn't know how to put makeup on.
Right.
I probably still don't know how to put makeup on, but now I don't care.
Right.
But then I did, and I was trying to work and get jobs and things, and I was a high school graduate, and I came from poverty. Like, my family was very poor. I was the oldest of 7. Even in high school, we didn't have hot water.
Wow.
Right? We didn't
Yeah.
we heated the water for the bathtub and stuff. So I had to learn, and my mother didn't wear makeup because my family was religious. Like they had
Okay.
this strong, really, you didn't wear makeup and you didn't wear shorts, you didn't all. So I never learned that stuff.
Right.
So as I'm going through life trying to figure all of this stuff out, I had to figure out little social norms.
Right.
Like I had to figure out if I'm sitting at a table, it's all dressed up. What do I do?
Yes.
I had to learn that. I had to mimic that, right? And there was a lady with Mary Kay, and I got this job at the bank. She helped me get the job, and then she started helping me with makeup.
Right.
Like, here's how you dress. We need to take you out and get a suit jacket because you have to wear hose and shoes. And so each little win builds confidence.
I agree.
But I was not confident in anything I ever took on. It's like, I'm just going to jump in and do it, and fuck, if I fail, I fail.
But that's the point, is that you just did it.
I just did it.
You jumped in and did it. And
Right.
it took me a long time in life just to jump in and do it.
Because we give too much, and I've learned this over the years, we give too much power to people and their opinions
Right.
about us.
Yes.
And so we are less likely to jump in because we don't want people's opinions about us to be negative or to think we're dumb or to whatever. We give too much power to people who don't matter.
Right.
And that's what holds so many people back. It's our fear of being rejected and their negative opinions. And social media is a really tough place, right? You get a
can
lot of, I am really lucky. I got to do all my fuck ups off camera.
Yeah.
Like there was no video cameras filming me when I was totally messing up a meeting that I was trying to run. There was no one around to do it,
Totally.
right?
Yeah, I think we grew up with no social media.
Right.
Okay? We grew up with a
Yeah.
telephone with a very long cord.
Yes.
And then we were hiding.
I know, trying
Right.
to talk on the phone.
and honestly, luckily, I think that we grew up in that way.
True.
And we do know people who, we have kids too, and they would base their day on how many likes did I get and how many things, which would eat away at them on top of
eats their confidence.
verbal judgment and opinions, and like it's just an added layer of.
And they compare,
Cruelness.
they're like, we were afraid of people's opinions, but we never really heard them,
Right.
Yeah.
right? They hear them.
They do.
Like when they're on social media, it's
Yeah.
fast and it's immediate and they take it serious. and
Absolutely.
I am thrilled that I did not have to go through this lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are in business, executive director, so franchise owner of an organization, BNI, Business Network International, which is how we know each other.
Right.
And you own, two franchises, and I done one in Indiana.
Well, I'm down to one, yeah. So I own two. We split it and I sold half of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for a long time, you had two franchises in
Yeah.
Indiana, and then 4 franchises co-owner here in British Columbia,
Yes.
right? And that came with a story of how you got there. Like an epic story.
It is an epic tale.
It's an epic
tale.
tale. And I've seen you up on stage in front of 3,500 people telling that story, and you didn't leave a dry eye in the house telling said story.
Yeah.
But it's an amazing story because some of the things that we do in life come from a place of, I got to dive in, man.
Right.
Because my life depends
usually
on it.
is a crisis.
Yeah.
Right. It's a crisis that throws you into it.
Yeah.
So I remember when my 2 daughters were young, I was married, and he left the marriage and left me with the 2 girls. And so I remember trying to figure out how I'm going to raise 2 girls all along, because I never wanted to be a mother. That was not my goal in life, to be a mother, because as an oldest child, I had to take care of all my brothers and sisters, so I didn't want to keep raising
Yeah.
children, right? That was not my thing. But I had the 2 girls, and I needed to take care of them, and I started working at a bank And that's where I learned the cosmetics and dressing nice and all of that, because prior to that, I'd always worked in factories. So I was at work, and this was probably the catalyst for me. I'm working at this bank, and I am ADHD. I get bored, and so I do things quickly, and I do things without thinking. Sometimes I'm just doing. So I used to file checks. So we had drawers that rolled down, and we filed checks. And one of the girls in the team left, and so I took all of her work on, and I would still get done early because I could just get through it fast. And then another person left, and I took on their work. So I remember going in to my boss, her name was Brenda, and I said, and it took a lot of courage. I mean, I worked myself up to this, but I needed to make more money. And I said, I'm now doing the work of 3 people, and I think I deserve a pay raise. And she looked at me and she said, well, that's not going to happen. And I said, well, that's not fair because you're saving 2 payrolls. There's clearly more money and I should get a pay raise. And she goes, that's not going to happen. I go, well, that's not fair. And she looked at me and said, you will get used to doing things that are not fair because you're a single mother with 2 children and you just have to do what you have to do.
Holy shit.
Wow. Wow.
And I was like, oh. And I left. And I remember being really upset. And I went home. And I went, I can't allow other people to be in control
Right.
of my life.
Yeah.
And what she just said was she thinks she can control my life. And so I wrote a letter and I gave her a 6-week notice that I was going to leave the bank in 6 weeks because I knew in 6 weeks I could get some things set up. I could get my children into free daycare. I could start getting on the dole. I would start on welfare and start getting money that way. And I knew that the state was offering classes.
Oh.
And that I could sign up for those classes, and I was going to learn to do office admin, and there was a word processor called the Wang.
The Wang.
It's a big old word processor, and you typed on it and it would put things out. It was so early on in technology.
Wow.
And so I finished a class first, got hired by an entrepreneur.
Oh,
he was
wow.
helping me. But I remember taking her that letter, and they gave me a 6-week check at the end of the day, and they made me pack up my desk and escorted me out of the bank. And so that, now I'm in crisis because I needed that 6 weeks, but I did have the money. So I used that 6 weeks to get everything set up, and I went and got into class and got hired by an entrepreneur. And from there, it just led me down the road of doing all kinds of things because each thing builds confidence.
Right.
So I had the confidence to go ask her. Then she told me no. Then I had the confidence to take the money and get on the welfare and get into the class. And then I took the confidence to work with an entrepreneur who taught me a lot about starting a business. Like he taught me quite a bit of things as his admin. And so each thing just built upon the confidence more and more. But still, I was I'm a high school graduate.
Yeah.
With this little class that I took, higher education. Statistically, I should not be where I am.
Right.
Right? Because statistically, I was born from alcoholics. I lived in poverty. I was a high school graduate with a single mom. I had 2 kids. That was the extent of where I could go.
Right.
But I don't believe in statistics.
Absolutely not.
It's like, no. I didn't say that. So I then took off and got married, and we had another son. And I married a man who owned an insurance agency, and he worked in the insurance business. And I got to stay at home with the kids.
Oh, okay.
Like I got to stay at home with the kids. I had a son and I had the two older girls and he adopted the girls and I was living my goals in life when I left home was to live in the suburbs and to have a dishwasher, no children.
No children.
So now you have 3 children.
Now I have 3 children, but I do live in the suburbs and I had a dishwasher.
Right. Okay.
So bonus.
So I did get that done.
Yeah.
So that was as big as my dreams could, because you can't dream a big dream if you have no experience in the world, right? The concept of traveling and doing all of this, that wasn't a dream I could dream.
Yes.
Because I just didn't have experience to do that. But I did have experience about washing dishes, and I did know about dishwashers, so I knew those.
Well, my big dream was to have a fridge that had the thing where you push it and the water comes out and you push another button and there's ice cubes. That was my big, like, you've made it in life if you have that fridge.
And for me, it was, I made it in life when I lived in the suburbs and everybody had a bedroom of their own and I had a dishwasher. Like,
Right.
I was there.
Yeah.
And I was staying at home and I was caring for my kids and I was asked to be on the PTA. Would I be the president of the PTA? I'm like, oh, the president. I don't want to be a president of the PTA, but okay.
Right.
So I took the president of the PTA role, and then moved up and took a council role. And
Wow.
then someone said, what about being a Girl Scout leader? You know, the girls want to be in Girl Scouts, but we need more leaders. I said, oh, I don't know how to be a Girl Scout leader. Okay. So I went to be a Girl Scout leader. Good Lord, that's a job.
It is.
Bunch of girls, and then they kept me busy. And then they asked me to be the Girl Scout. And then they asked, I had to run a big giant fundraiser for the whole region.
Oh, wow.
So I learned how to do sponsorships instead
Right.
of begging people for donations. I created this whole sponsorship program and
Oh, wow.
T-shirts and things like that to make the fish fry effective. And then I was the Girl Scout cookie sales mom, right? So I got to learn that. Now I tell you all of that because from each of those things I learned something I just didn't know I was learning,
Right.
right? I was learning
Yes.
how to sell. I was learning how to sponsor. I was
Right.
learning how to run big organizations and the PTA council. I would delegate work to the superintendent of the schools, and people would go, "You can't delegate up." I'm like, well, he's more qualified to do it than me, so that's what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
So I did it anyway, and he did the work, right?
Right.
He did it for us. So I was learning going along. But one day, I'm at a Girl Scout mother-daughter dinner. We did not have cell phones. It was a phone on the wall. That was it. There was no way of getting. So I was gone with them. And I left my husband home with our 4-year-old. And later that night, I get home and the car is in the driveway where it belonged. I pull up, I go in the house. I can't find anybody. The dogs are outside, the dogs were outside and I couldn't find anybody. Now I'm panicked because my car's here, my husband's gone, my 4-year-old's gone, I don't know where everybody is. I go down into the basement, which we had a finished basement that was like a rec room. And at the bottom of the steps, there's blood.
Oh,
Right at the bottom of this, quite a bit of blood.
wow.
So now I'm starting to call people, but I can't get hold of my mother-in-law. I can't get hold of anyone. Finally, the phone rings, and it was a friend of mine. My mother-in-law had called her, and she said, listen, you need to get to the hospital as quick as possible. Community East, go to the hospital. There's been an accident. And I go, where's my son? Stephen is with his dad, with his grandparents. They're all at the hospital. So I take off, I go to the hospital, I go in, and I find that he is in a serious unstable condition. They're not sure that he'll make it.
Wow.
He fell down the flight of stairs, hit his head on the concrete floor, and had a massive brain hemorrhage.
Wow.
It took 40 stitches to stitch his head up. And he'd already had in life 2 other concussions. So this was the 3rd concussion, which is never a good thing.
Right.
So as it turned out, my 4-year-old found him unconscious on the floor. Their favorite TV show used to be Rescue 911.
Right.
And so he called 911 and got the fire department there.
Wow.
And they said, is your daddy breathing? Yeah, I feel his breath on my, yeah. But he's bleeding out of his ears. So they get the rescue there. Then he gives to the sheriff that was there, my grandma's phone number is, and they live at 4 knew that.
That's amazing.
And so they said, Steve, my husband, would have died hadn't the 4-year-old not been so prompt.
Yes.
And we had not got there so soon. But the problem was, Steve owned an insurance agency. My husband owned an insurance agency. And that was our sole source of support. And he wasn't going to work for 2 years. And he had a disagreement with the health insurance company and canceled our health insurance.
Oh,
So none of his care was paid for.
yikes.
Oh, no.
Wow.
So I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
I had to figure it out. Like, did I go back on welfare? Did we file bankrupt? Who's going to run the agency? What are we going to do?
Can I just interrupt for a second? Hazel lives in the U.S.
That's true.
Different healthcare.
Different healthcare system.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I live in the U.S. the for-profit healthcare. Right.
Yes.
And he had canceled that plan.
Right. Okay. So that's pretty devastating.
That's pretty devastating. And then I went in and I had to run the agency. Well, just like here in Canada, in America, you have to be licensed to sell insurance. I had no license.
Oh.
I didn't know how to sell just Girl Scout cookies. That was the best I could do. And I had no license to do all of this stuff. So I had to go get licensed. Now I had to go get licensed on all of the stuff. I still had to take care of my husband, still had to take care of my children, right? I still had to do all that. I still had to figure out how we're going to make money out of the agency to make sure money was coming in. And there was a couple employees there, and I didn't know anything about employees.
Right.
So I got my license, and I will never forget, they told me I had to make 100 phone calls. I would get 10 appointments, and that would lead to probably one deal a week. That just seems stupid to me, but that's the way they make money. So I was doing this. I was doing all of the things in this insurance agency. I mean, I really, truly, at that point in my life, I felt as if God had just scooped me up off. I was on a cruise ship. It was a beautiful cruise ship. I was
Right.
living my life.
Yeah.
And I got scooped up, tossed in the water with this message. You have more in you than just that. Swim.
Right.
I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to drown.
Yeah.
The sharks are going to be able to swim. So I had to learn to swim.
Right.
Right. So I got all this stuff done. I started working in there. I learned about this organization called the Network. It was at that time called the Network. And I was going to every networking event in town. My nickname is Queen of Networking. The reason my name is Queen of Networking is because I belong to every chamber of commerce in town,
Wow.
every women's organization. I was everywhere all the time.
Wow.
And I got the nickname Queen of Networking because I was everywhere all the time, right? I was missing a lot of time with my kids, but I was trying to get business in the door. Well, you know what happens when you go to a lot of networking events?
What happens?
You get really damn popular.
Right.
You know, making a fucking penny. I mean, I would sell, now and then I would sell a policy. But there were
Right.
15 other agents at all of these events doing the same thing,
Yeah.
right? So I was competing against everybody.
Right.
And I was just not so good at it. And it came to me that I either needed to figure out how to make a living or I needed to go ahead and file bankrupt and call it a day and go on welfare till he got better, get him on disability. And I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to go back to the life I lived.
Right.
I didn't want my children there.
Yeah.
So someone told me about the network. I went to the network. There were 6 chapters, 1 person per profession. And guess which profession was full?
Insurance?
Insurance.
Insurance.
Those damn insurance. They would not let me play in the reindeer games.
Aw.
There's like, sorry, but not sorry.
Right.
And I never, so I had to start my own group. I started a group with the person that was running the area. And then over time, in my chapter, I worked with them And I put all of these people, it was me and my best friend, we sent 200 invitations out and we put all these people in the room. I didn't know how to speak publicly.
Yeah.
Even doing sales calls was hard for me, right?
Right.
'Cause I just didn't know how to speak. But now I'm in front of a room of people that we've invited and I have to do a presentation. I felt so sick.
Oh, I can
I was
imagine.
so not good at it. But we got about 15 people, I think, said yes, they filled out applications and we had our chapter. They made me the president. And I had to speak every week.
Oh.
And for like 3 weeks in a row, I would just go to the bathroom and be sick. I couldn't eat the breakfast. I couldn't do anything
Yeah.
because I was so nervous, right?
Yeah.
That is the biggest fear anyone has, is fear of speaking in public. And I was just thrown into it and I had to do it. So those people in that chapter knew way more about business than I knew. There was an accountant in the room. There was another Mary Kay lady in the room who just did wonderful things for me. There was a human resource person who did temporary services in the room and who helped me with employees. But there were all these people over the years who came into the BNI chapter. It did franchise. It became BNI. And they would come into the chapter and they would just collaborate and help me for free.
That's amazing.
Like they would answer all my questions.
Wow.
They would spend time with me going, hey, the Mary Kay lady would take me out and help me buy the right kinds of clothes so that when I'm
Nice.
selling insurance and I'm doing things, look nice, or standing in front of a room, I look nice. They guided me to Toastmasters so I could learn to speak better. So really, I say this all the time, they took a girl from nothing and grew a business owner up,
Wow.
right? They taught me how to be a business owner and run that agency. Well, eventually, that organization became BNI. It
Okay.
franchised and became BNI, and I bought it. There was a lady who owned it at that point. She was a scientist, not good with business. She really wanted out of it. And she came to me, and I had been helping her, and she said, I'm going to sell this whole deal. I want out. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, do you want to buy it? And I go, it's 99. How much? And she goes, I want 75,000 for it. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
$75,000. And at that time, membership was $99
Right.
and it paid quarterly.
Yikes.
$99 paid quarterly. And it was just a couple hundred chapters in the US. And so I really wanted it
Yeah.
because my thought was if I owned it, I could sell more insurance.
Right.
I could make more connections to the 10 chapters that are around, or 12, and I would sell more insurance. So I go home and I say to my husband, I need $60,000 cash. He's like, what? Like 4 or 5 years had passed. He was now working for a life insurance company as a vice president. The agency just continued to be mine.
Right.
And I said, I need $60,000. And he goes, well, what are you doing? And so I tell him, and he goes, do you think you can make money at that? Like, I know you've been going and everything, but do you think it will make money? He goes, that's a lot. And I said, I can do it. Just, I need $60,000. So he got the money. He got part of the money from his parents, and part of the money we took from home equity. I was terrified. I'm going to spend I've never even seen
Yeah.
$60,000, right?
Yeah.
I've never made that much money.
Right.
So I was giving her the $60,000. I called and talked to Ivan. He's the founder of BNI. And I said, I'm going to buy this, which, by the way, I was terrified of him because he's the founder of the organization.
Right.
And I needed to talk to him. So I talked to him and he goes, well, 60,000, that's the highest any one of these have ever been sold for. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. And he says, you do know this is only a part-time business. Like, it'll take you a long time. to pay that off. And I thought, you are a cruddy salesperson. Like, you are terrible at this. But I went ahead and did it anyway, right? I just did it anyway. My stomach hurt, my head hurt for weeks.
Right.
But I did buy it. And I did grow it. And I launched 30 chapters. And I built the franchise all by myself because it didn't occur to me to ask for help. It never occurred to me to ask for help. It was just me.
Yeah.
And finally, some people came up and said, hey, you seem to work really hard at this. We'd like to help you. It was a couple members. And so those were my first team members. But I would not be where I am today if I hadn't taken the risk and I worried about all those details. I just trusted that I could figure out how to make it successful.
Yeah.
It was not in my brain that it would be as big as it is. Canada wasn't even in it.
Right.
There was just the United States. I just thought it might, on top of the insurance, I might make another $30,000, $20,000, $10,000 a year. I didn't know. But it would help me sell more insurance. Ultimately, what happened was I remember buying the franchise. My chapter actually said to me, well, how are you going to attend all of the meetings? Because you're going to have to go to all these other chapter meetings. I said, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm going to hold my position in here. But then after I missed the third meeting, they said, we're going to open your position.
Got your seat opened.
Yeah, that's
the owner. That's good.
And I did say it. I go, but I'm the owner. I know, but the policy says.
That's right. Yep. There's a policy.
And the guy who was in charge was an Army colonel. He'd been a colonel. So, like, policies are policies.
That's right.
Right? So, it just never occurred to me that it would get as big as it got. And yeah, then I started winning awards. The first time I ever spoke at a BNI conference was in Hawaii for the 10th anniversary, and it was me and another guy. No one was there because they were all out on the beach. But I was terrified. I remember just being terrified to do that. Ivan Meisner made me write a story for a book. He made me. He goes, I'm not going to sign your contract to be the owner until you write a story for Masters of Networking.
Right.
And I just went, I'm not a writer. I can't write. I can't write. But I wrote the story, and they took it as is. It was mothers are natural born networkers, and it was all about how mothers network.
Right.
Like when you're on welfare and you don't have any other way to support your child, Mothers Network, they tell you which church to go to get diapers and where to go get. And I wrote this whole story about that.
Yes, I actually read it.
It's in the book. It's about moms.
Yeah.
And so then I became a published author, and I walked around like, oh my God, I'm a published author.
Yeah. No, that's
And
fantastic.
so, but there was never, ever my dream to become international.
Right.
I never thought I would be speaking on stage. I lived in Australia for 7 years. They hired me. I never dreamed I would be out of the country, out of the state
Yes.
of Indiana.
Right.
Until someone said, hey, will you come to Australia? I'm like, okay. Okay. It was always being willing to take the risk and not to worry about the damn details.
Exactly.
The details will sort themselves out if you just step into it.
Right.
They will sort themselves out. You also have to be willing to listen to people too. It's
Right.
great.
So what would be your big advice to somebody who's a little stuck in their head about what to do next or how to move forward?
But some of that is because of behavior styles.
Right.
Like, if you look at disc profiles, you've got your high Cs who really need all the details to be perfect because their biggest fear is being wrong.
Right.
And they don't want it to be wrong. And then you've got your really high S's that care about a lot of people, and they're always afraid of disappointing people. So they tend to be risk resistant. Then you got your D's and your I's. Well, the D's want to be right all the time. They want things to go their way, and the I's just don't give a shit. Right. So I'm someone as a DI, so more important to me is staying in action.
Okay.
Just stay in action and just figure out the next. All you have to figure out is the next step.
Right.
The problem with you getting stuck in your head is you're looking too far in the future.
Too far ahead. Right.
Right? You're thinking 5 years out. I was only thinking 5 days out.
Exactly.
At all times, I'm 5 days out.
5 days
Yeah.
out. Right.
I still think that way, don't I, Mark?
You do. I know if, at times I'll bring you stuff and I'll get into all this stuff and you're like, would you just stop? Let's not worry about that right now. We only need to worry about this.
You're far too ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. Like one step at a time.
One step at a time.
step at a
Right
time.
now, we just need to get the PowerPoint done. Right now, we just need to get this piece done. And I tend to run my life and my business in the next 5 to 10 days.
Next question. Is there something that you do, like, do you meditate? Do you journal? Any of those things? Like, what is it that really helps you in self-reflection?
I journal a lot.
Do you
I
journal?
have I have boxes and boxes of journals.
Wow.
When I die, I don't know what we're going to do because I've been journaling since the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Right? I journal a lot.
Do you feel that that's also been key to you?
It
your
does, and
success?
here's why.
Okay.
In your head, or at least in my head, this is the way things are going.
Right.
In my head, right?
Okay.
It's just going in vicious circles. When I journal, it reasons it out. It puts it in straight lines.
Gotcha.
So I can dump it out. I just call it a brain dump when I journal, because then it just gives me that ability to actually see what I'm thinking.
Right.
Or in my head, I can't, and it just keeps going around like a wheel. So I have to journal.
Yeah. Sometimes there's beauty in kind of slowing down and being a little stuck, need I say?
Yeah, and I try to do a 10-minute meditation. Like this morning, I got
Right.
up and I try to do a 10 to 15-minute meditation once or twice, maybe even 3 times a day.
Right.
Just
That's great.
Some quiet time.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean my head shuts up, because your head never shuts up.
Right.
It just talks.
Yeah.
But I do try to take a few 10-minute breaks where I'm just sitting silently. No social media, no headset, no anything.
Yeah.
And then that's when answers come.
Right.
Yeah.
Like out of the blue, you've got, oh, that's the answer.
Right.
And you
Exactly.
can go.
I agree.
Right? So you got to it's okay to be afraid. This is what I say to all you. It's okay to be afraid. Let go of the opinions of others, because the opinions of others about you is as valuable as hot, sticky bubble gum on the pavement in the middle of the summer at the bottom of your shoe. That's how valuable it is.
True.
Yeah.
Right? So when you understand that, and you can let go of that, and then just take those small steps, it'll get you where you're going to go.
Yeah.
I know we talked about in one of our podcasts the idea of not giving a shit anymore doesn't come at age 20. It came with age.
Yes.
It does come with age.
It comes with age, and it'd be really great to say to someone in their 20s and 30s, "Oh, just don't give a shit." It's going to free you, but you don't understand it because you are in. I need people's opinions, but we say if you ask people's opinions, that's all you're going to get.
Opinion.
Right.
Their opinion.
But you can ask for a person's opinion, but move forward anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you align with the opinion that you agree with in the end, right?
Yeah.
Right or wrong.
Right or wrong, that is true.
You talked about, you were like, I didn't give a shit, and Jill and I kind of reached that one a few years back, but it took a long time, and of just not caring anymore, because it is freedom.
It is a sense of freedom when you
Yeah.
get that, I don't care about your opinion anymore.
Right.
Right? And that does set you free to do things. But there was a time early on that I cared about people's opinions, but I couldn't care about it so much that it was going to stop me from doing what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Because some people's opinions about things I did were very negative.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know full well, you and I both know, there's still opinions flying, because you're very public, at least in the BNI world. I'm a little bit public. We hear stuff a lot about us, or what I think. We always say, if somebody starts off a conversation with "I think that," you're getting their opinion now. Here it comes. Let's wait
Right.
for it.
Yeah, exactly. And I try really hard to just allow my reputation to speak for me. But there's sometimes people are going to come after you, and you have to take actions
Yeah,
on
definitely.
that to shut it down. And kids take it all very, very personal,
Yeah,
right? They
Yeah.
they get really caught up in it.
right.
So that was never. I probably had a thicker skin about people caring for me because of my childhood,
Right.
right? Because even as a child, I was bullied a lot, and people had low opinion of me because I was a statistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was born a statistic to a single mom, and in the 50s, that was just, you were as guilty as the mother. He was terrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I taught my kids accountability. My goal with my children was like, oh, I didn't have a good role model as mom, right? I didn't have
Right.
a good role model as mom. So I was afraid to be a mom. That was why I didn't want children. So I said to my children as they were young, listen, I am figuring all of this out. You're figuring all of this out. But here's one rule that you have to live by. You are responsible for all your consequences. You are not required to obey the law. Listen to a teacher, listen to your parents. You aren't required to do anything you don't want to do. But you will be required to pay all the consequences for the things you do and you don't do, right? And that impacted them dramatically because I held true to that. I was the tough love mom. Held true to that. You will pay your consequences, and if you pay a consequence at school, you're probably going to have a consequence at home too. So think carefully before you make decisions or to buckle under peer pressure,
Right.
right? The goal for that was just to teach them how to think critically before they would take actions and do things, because I wanted my children to grow up and be responsible. My oldest daughter started 2 years ago her own commercial electrical company. She was terrified. She'd call me up, she'd have me read her business plan and everything, but she did it anyway.
Good for her.
And so they made a profit the first year. The first shareholder made money. My middle daughter runs her own business and does her. I went to her house the other day and she had the hood up on her car and was changing spark plugs. I'm like, I didn't know you know how to. I don't know how to do that. How'd you learn to do that? Oh, YouTube will teach you everything, Mom. Right? And my son does stand-up comedy and his own thing. So they've all done their own lives. They're all responsible for their own selves. I've never had to really bail them out of things, right? Because they became responsible for themselves.
Right.
So I didn't do too bad a job as a mom. And I've apologized to them repeatedly about, sorry about that mother thing.
We didn't tell you, but up next we're interviewing your two daughters and your son. We're going to ask them those questions.
Yeah, Stacey will have lots of questions. She'll have a lot for you.
Just kidding. Just
Yeah.
kidding. That'd be fun though.
That
So
would be.
Hazel, one last thing. Your number one, and you may have already talked about it, but your number one key to success is what?
My number one key to success is to just do what I'm going to do. I will listen to everybody and take everybody's advice, but I'm going to do what I'm going to do,
Yeah.
regardless of what you say.
Right.
You may tell me I can't do it and never do it, and I'll just do whatever I'm going to do.
Is this a trust your gut, trust your instinct
Yeah.
kind of thing?
It is a trust my gut. If I really think it's something, I will just trust my gut and go forward anyway.
Yeah. I know.
And Mark, I come up with ideas fast.
Yes, you do.
Right? I come up with ideas fast. Here's what I'm not good at. I'm not always good at implementing. I need people like you
Yeah,
and
the
and all
implementers.
I need the
Yes.
implementers
Yeah.
to implement for me. I can come up with the ideas, but I need the implementers. The agency was good because I had good people in it also.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's really that really goes to, and if we're talking business, building your business, as a business owner, you can't not do everything.
Right.
You can't do everything. You
can't.
need that network, that
You
people
do.
around you, which we talked in past podcasts about,
Yep.
is who's in your network, who are these people that you can go to that can do the things you don't like doing or are not as great at doing as other things that you do.
Yep.
So that's where the network is super important.
Right.
It is, and now that chapter helped me with that, right?
Yeah.
Because I was surrounded by them, who then helped me do all of the things I wanted to do and would
Right.
teach that to me. And I read this book called The Speed of Trust, and there was a self-assessment in it, and then there was a 380-degree self-assessment. So I gave it to my team to rate their trust with me, and there was only one place where they did not trust me.
Oh,
which was?
Hazel has lots of great ideas. She's pretty brilliant at it, but we can't trust her to implement.
gotcha.
We think she's going to implement, and then we're all ready for it,
Yeah.
and nothing happens.
Ready, aim, ready, aim, ready, aim,
Right,
ready,
right.
aim.
That's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn to really get people around me to keep my credibility,
Right.
right? Get people around me who could do all those things I can't do.
Yeah.
That's great.
But it
And-
didn't stop me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a ready fire, which is why I need people like you and Jill around. You're the aim in it. You're like, hold on a moment.
Yeah.
Hold on a moment. Where's this going? Who are your people? All these things.
Right.
We're just fire, we'll aim later.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're always two or three things. So Hazel, there's a lot more to your story.
Yes.
We will have you on again to continue your story. You're still an author. You've done other things, and you continue to do great things. But we want to thank you for being with us.
Thank you so
On
much.
the Effing Details, we have an amazing Fuck the Details mug for you, all boxed up and ready to go.
Look at that.
Yeah, just a reminder. Oh yeah, fuck the details when you're
Yeah,
drinking
yeah.
your
Yeah,
coffee
They'll just
every
bog
morning.
you down.
They will.
I never knew the details of anything I just was doing.
Yeah.
That's right. So
And so you're inspiring.
you got
And
the mug.
Hazel Walker, thank you for being here. Quickly,
you.
how do people get in touch with you? What do you have? Email address is?
I do Hazel at hazelmwalker.com.
Okay, and we're going to put that at the bottom.
And they can always find me on WhatsApp and LinkedIn. You'll find me on
Perfect.
LinkedIn. I've got a good LinkedIn profile. So
Okay, do you have a website at all?
hazelwalker.com.
HazelWalker.com, Hazel at hazelmwalker.com. Easy to get a hold of. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so
pleasure.
much.
We appreciate you.